redefining the future of work with AI agents.
Welcome to day 2 of Sigma Africa. I hope everyone is feeling okay. I know some people had some rather big nights last night. So we are going to be talking about the future of AI and agents in South Africa and Africa, with it being Sigma Africa. And the first thing that came to mind was, well, what does AI look like in Africa and South Africa? So some interesting facts is that, for example, in East Africa, only 29% of East Africans used the internet in the past 30 days. Compare that to the average of 63% globally. That it really whittles down how much AI can possibly be used. And look at some more numbers, only 5% of those people who are using the internet have access to computers or mobiles that have capacity to use, have phones that are able to use research and AI tools, because the phones are so incredibly basic. I actually wish I had bought some of the phones that they sell locally here. Do you know that you can buy a mobile phone here for basically the equivalent of a Starbucks cappuccino? Okay, so those are not, a Starbucks cappuccino. So if you are into tech and you want to see what the South African and the African market is, I really urge you to walk into a PEP stores, for example, which is where the majority of our population shops. And they will sell you or show you demos. They don't even work, so you can't even test them. You're going to have to buy one for yourself and take them home or take them to your company and experiment what those phones are able to do. And that will start to show you the capabilities of what your providers, your agents are able to utilize on these phones and these platforms. The other issue is obviously lack of infrastructure, which is improving. But just a reminder, as an operator, for example, operators are busy sponsoring players' data. All right, so that's another big thing to factor in. People aren't spending time online, and when they are spending time online, they're being extremely cautious and careful with where they are spending their time. When we look at healthcare, right, healthcare is quite a personal thing, okay? I mean, how many of us go to a doctor and we go with a set of symptoms, and the doctor will look at you and analyze your responses, and you think you're going for a headache because you've got the fever or a cold, and it turns out to be something completely different. The doctor's not just listening to your answers, it's reading your body language, it's asking additional questions, it's asking about your lifestyle. And how well is AI going to be able to learn that with, for example, the 11 official languages in South Africa? There's a lot of data that's going to be needed in order for AI to be able to learn these things. And also with data sensitivity, for example, with Web3, who is going to be in charge of making sure that that data is stored ethically, especially with the high rate of HIV in South Africa and Africa? That data is extremely sensitive, and who's owning it? And who is owning the misdiagnosis if anything goes wrong in healthcare? So as we were saying, those are a few problems which seem obvious, but sometimes we just need to be reminded of the facts and the differences that we face in South Africa and Africa versus our tier 1 counterparts. Then something else we need to talk about, which is obviously a global concern, is how will the use of AI agents affect unemployment in South Africa? The estimates is that 3.3 million people will lose their jobs by 2030 because of AI agents and the use of AI tools. In a country already that is incredibly struggling with employment rates, this is not something that is welcomed, and we are extremely unionized with big labors and labor parties. So the fight against implementing these tools is of crisis. Yes, of course, AI also allows us to upskill, to train, and to obviously bring in further skills. But that again means that we need to bring in investment to upskill our staff and our labor and our workforce. So these are all super simple things. So what does that mean for, we've spoken about healthcare, and what have we done in the past for healthcare? So we're going to step a little bit away because now we've told you about the problems, but what are the opportunities? And yes, as I said, it's not what we always think. We're going to use the internet. What's been working for the last couple of years, and I've had friends who have rolled out these initiatives, is good old traditional USSD SMSing, who have asked questions. They use this for reminders to get things, for example, the antiretroviral medications. They use this as ways to diagnose and remind people who have TB or people who are diabetic. We are one of the biggest populations in the world who are suffering from diabetes, and it's one of the main causes of deaths in South Africa. So if someone's having a problem with their sugar levels, they can hit crisis mode extremely quickly. They may not have data, as we spoke about earlier. So a simple USSD text or SMS could be a life-saving initiative, and it has been done and run really, really successfully. But again, all these things need investments. They need manpower, and NGOs struggle to find these financing. So I don't know actually what else to say. I've got 4 minutes left. Is there anyone that has any questions or any inputs on the situation? I've just thrown a lot of information at you. Anyone have anything to say at all? Gail, I see you nodding fiercely. Just a thumbs up. Thanks, friend. So that's pretty much it from me. It's short and sweet. It's a lot of information in a short space of time. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me.